Let's go talk to the lady.
We found your silverware, Lady Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your ladyship? We found your mistress's silverware.
Oh, that's good news. You really are as clever as they say.
Indeed. Inspector, I have recovered the stolen silverware.
You are a wizard, Mr. Holmes. And where is it?
In the garden well.
Excuse me?
Unique, isn't it?
Rather absurd. What is the point of stealing silverware and then throwing it down into a well?
Perhaps it was used as a temporary hiding place, or simply the thieves wanted to get rid of it. It is up to us to solve this mystery.
Phil, I did think it was the two ladies, but with their sailor friend. But now I'm not so sure. But
My search must be focused upon the ship's name and year of voyage. My search must be focused upon the ship's
Sorry?
name. My search must be focused upon the ship's...
I'm not.
My search must be focused upon the ship's name and year of voyage. My search must be focused upon the ship's name and year of
Oh.
voyage.
Silly. Through India, New Zealand, and Australia.
Here it is.
So she's wealthy.
The shipping company, the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, and its address. Interesting. It must be the place where they keep the records, including the one for the crew of the Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard, they'll give it to you without any problems.
But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
Oh, this lot again.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I need a register, my young friend. If you could borrow it, there will be half a guinea for every one of you. I need the crew list of the Rock of Gibraltar in 1893, and their current employment.
I'm straight on it, Mr. Holmes.
Do you really think they'll find it, Holmes?
My secret police is better than the Yard in many ways.
Here it is, Mr. Holmes. But we can't take it back. It's too risky.
Put it on the table. I'll take care of it. Good work, young Wiggins. This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor. And these are the lists of the senior officers of the Adelaide, Southampton, London Line ships. Let us find out who was in London upon November the 7th.
Charles, Jack, Ernest.
This list shows the senior
Yeah, I know.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
No.
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
John, Harvey, Robert, Charles, Herbert Hawkins. Don't treat me like that.
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
Herbert, you're looking deadly, my man.
Mr. Jack Crocker was in London upon the date of the crime, and he is due to depart in 2 days.
Could be you.
I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case.
I was just curious.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot
And
be
Thomas
involved.
Walker is at sea as well.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
So who are you?
This list shows the senior officer.
Henry Southwood. Just make sure. Here. Oh wait, what? There's more to find. Oh, there he is.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. Captain Jack Crocker is our mysterious visitor. He was the only one around at the time of the murder.
There you are then.
This Crocker, do you think...
It would be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him. Wiggins, could you find a way to bring this Captain Crocker here to us?
Here? Holmes, that could be dangerous.
No problem, Mr. Holmes.
It'd be too dangerous, Watson. Have some courage.
Mr. Holmes, I was informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
Yes, it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why.
He's angry. Sweating. Is he not sweating? Okay. Hand. 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 Okay. He's got a knife. A sea knife.
You are acquainted with Lady Mary Brackenstall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her. From when I was first officer, but I still don't see...
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
Indeed, how reckless a feeling is love, particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder in its name.
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay, found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
You... and what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brackenstall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right if there was no evidence.
What then?
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
Whoa.
Yes, as she was tied with
We're
a
just solving the whole
sailor's
case now.
knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London right now. Your theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Sharp. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night.
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No, there is no doubt that these men will testify in his favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Now I understand why you dissected the bell rope.
Clever, Watson. Whoa, we're just... This is a quick case. Whoa! I didn't realise it was this quick. I'm sure there's nothing more to do. Right. Well, this was a quick case. I'll just get into it. Thing is, I think he did do it. Ah, there we are then. But I think he was there to help. So, okay, let's just do that. Whoa! So it's basically either the Randalls. I don't think it was though. The robbery was faked. No acquaintance. Imitated. Wait, what? That. So 3 people, 2 people. Ah. Domestic accident. I think that's all the conclusions I can get. Right. So it's either he's the killer, the group, or them. He was very honest. That's what's putting me off him. But then who climbed over the fence? Two guys. So the 3 glasses. Unless they drank 2. And then just poured one after. It's difficult. I'm gonna go with Captain. Wait. Let me check that newspaper. pirate career. They would have had a sailor's knife. Yeah. Ill fits because she was tied up. Sailor's knife. Dump the silverware for later. All went over. And 3 glasses. But then why didn't they take more? Because they couldn't dump it all. And yeah, she has got a black eye. I don't know. I don't know. He's honest. She's got a black eye. Randall's a guilty. Just go with it. And glory to Lestrade. And we stick with it.
Well, Inspector, this case proved to be a simple one after all.
You think it's the Randall gang, then?
Yes.
I'll put my men on it straight away.
I'll leave that to you, Inspector. After all, you have handled this matter quite brilliantly.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. I do appreciate it.
I think that was wrong. We'll make another choice. Just to be... Yeah. Just to be sure. Oh, well, look at that. Haven't made the choice yet. Oh, who could it be? Well, it's got to be him then. Captain is the killer. And arrest him. Because we're doing the law.
Wiggins, could you ask Mr. Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes?
It is over. I know that it was you who killed Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
What?
I I know because of the height at which the rope was cut. The knife
Oh, yeah, I
was
didn't
a
even...
sea knife. The knots were sailor's knots, and not least the sheer force that was put behind the killing blow. And because you are the only one who knows Lady Mary Brackenstall in London. And because you love her.
It's true.
It is time for you to tell us the whole truth.
I admit that I loved Mary madly from the first day that I met her. But I never did come to visit her, for I believed that she was in a happy household. When I talked to her maid, who told me everything, I was insane with rage. I was due to set sail for 6 months away. I wanted only to see her again. But it turned into a damnable nightmare when he barged in. He dared raise his hand to her. He was not even worthy of licking her boots. Oh, I regret nothing. I admit I killed the monster out of love for her. She will forgive me if she is able.
Lady Brackenstall already forgave you. She said nothing.
Mary.
But that makes her an accomplice as well as her maid. It places her in danger yet again.
Mr. Holmes.
You would not have managed to protect her.
Till I die, do you hear me? Here is a letter that sets everything clear. And it is the one that should be disclosed to the police. I am the only culprit. Mary had nothing to do with it. Now it is time to end this.
Oh, cool, that game turned quick.
You should have let me die. How can I live if Mary suffers?
I am sorry, Captain Crocker, but there has been quite enough death in this case. Inspector, I give you Sir Eustace's killer. He tried his best to perform his own justice.
Well, I'm not surprised. Yes, it was me.
Lion.
I confess.
Here is a piece of evidence that can be used in court.
Perfect. A case that went smoothly for once.
We got one right. After the second choice, but you know, we got it right.